Someone once told me that there are certain businesses that you can hardly go wrong with, and anything that provides food or meets basic human needs is right at the top of that list. So today, we are here in Lagos State, Nigeria, and we are visiting one of the businesses quietly redefining the food and lifestyle space. This right here is not just a restaurant, but a lounge, a rooftop bar, a cigar room, a game room, and a lot more, all in one location. And in this episode, we are learning the ins and outs of running a business like this in Nigeria in 2025. And of course, we are telling this story right here on the Legacy Level series.
Hello.
Hi, Danica.
Can you tell us about yourself?
Hi, my name is Akachi Jo.
What do you have here? Is it just a restaurant or is it more than that?
It's a social space that has a restaurant called the Museum of Food. We have a cigar room. We have a games room. We have a rooftop lounge. So it's a social space with different areas that will interest different people.
How did this business start? Can you just give us a backstory?
It was basically created out of a desire to create a space that was dynamic, socially inclusive, safe, for young professionals and creatives.
From idea to execution, what was the turning point for this business?
The turning point was us creating and curating exceptional experiences for our clientele.
In a city like Lagos State and of course in Nigeria generally, where the hustle is real, the competition is very stiff, what mindset and strategy have you adopted to help you stand out among other brands?
I think the first thing that you have to do as a business is to have knowledge. Knowledge is power. So as a business, you need to have somebody on your team that has knowledge in different areas of business. For example, in the legal aspect, you need to have your lawyer that is sound in hospitality or whatever industry that your business is focused on. You need to have an accountant. You need to have and somebody that audits your account. You need to have somebody that is conversant in relating with the government officials, the different ministries, the different parastatals, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Loma, you understand? So for anyone that wants to compete successfully in Nigeria, in the Nigerian landscape, you need knowledge.
Wow. Yeah. So knowledge is the key.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge is the key.
It's everything.
Yes.
When it comes to business.
Yes.
Your business has become more than a restaurant, a lounge. Was that always part of the plan, or did you evolve? Did you introduce things when you started this place? Did it start off as a lounge, a restaurant, a social space, and everything, or did you just kind of evolve and go with the market's trend and what the people needed from you?
Okay, so it has always been part of the plan to have a social space.
Okay.
So to have a rooftop lounge, to have a cigar room, to have a games room, to have a restaurant. Okay. It's always been part of the plan. And I believe as anyone who is going into business, you start with your end in mind. So before you enter anything, you have to, for example, you want to start a restaurant. What is your end goal? My end goal is to be the premium restaurant business in Lagos State. Once you have that goal set, then you work towards it. So our goal has always been from the start to be a premium, exclusive space that is upscale casual, that caters to young professionals and creatives in Lagos State.
What do you think about owning and running a business in Nigeria? Do you think it is worth it? Is it something you would advise people to go for?
Yes, I would definitely advise people to own or start a business because everybody has an idea.
All right.
And you'd never know if your idea can change the world. You never know if your idea can improve somebody else's living situation or improve their experience in life. So whatever idea you have, I feel like you should go for it. And it's an adventure. Life is an adventure.
Of course.
Start a business. It doesn't work out. You move on to the next business.
You move on to the next business.
You only have one life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So do you think there are opportunities in Nigeria and in Africa?
I think there are opportunities because the main goal of starting a business is to solve a problem.
Of course.
So there's one thing that someone that I really look up to says is that when you are burdened by a problem, it means you should solve it.
Okay.
You understand? So if you're somebody that noticed that, hey, there isn't any social space in Lagos where you have a restaurant, where you have a rooftop lounge, where you have a cigar room, where you have a games room, why don't I just try it out and see if it works?
Yeah. What advice would you give to young entrepreneurs who would want to build something that really stands out in a city like Lagos, or maybe in Nigeria or Africa at large?
So first, the advice I would give any young budding entrepreneur is to actually have a vision, define your vision. So out of defining your vision, you can create your brand identity and know what your brand is focused on, because there are a lot of businesses out there. People just wake up, you're on Instagram, you scroll. Oh, Sister Kate is doing selling wigs online. Let me add that to my enterprise.
Yeah.
Or sister, this is selling cocktails online. Okay, let me add that to my enterprise. When you keep on doing things like that without focusing on what your mission or your vision is, then you lose your way, basically. You can't actually scale, you can't actually grow your business. So what I'll tell people to do is have a vision, have a mission, identify what the problem is you're trying to solve,
Okay.
focus on it, and create your business out of that. So that's my advice.
So Lagos is a very big city, and of course, everybody knows that Lagos is one of those cities in the world that never sleeps, right? So what is that strategy that you have adopted that has helped you attract the right crowd? And then, of course, how can you, advise young entrepreneurs to follow the same footsteps? Yeah.
So first things first, you have to do your market research. You have to find the areas that people are willing to spend money on,
Okay.
and are willing to pay for things that they're willing to pay for. For example, girls love looking nice and they're willing to pay ₦1 million for a week. You look into that. So these are different areas you can look into where people are ready to spend money. And when you find those areas, then you can now drill down and focus on, okay, in this area, what are my strengths? Am I interested in hair? Am I interested in shoemaking? Drill down in the areas where people are ready to spend money and find where you fit into those areas.
I know that a lot of people want to start up something like this or any other business here in Nigeria, but probably waiting for the perfect and the right condition and all to start. So what can you say to somebody that wants to go into business, has the passion, but probably has limited capital and funds?
So I'm assuming at this point you found where your strengths are, you found a problem to solve. Then the next thing to do is to use what you have.
Okay.
Look inward, look at your network. Do you have a brother that's good at graphics design? Do you have an uncle that knows how to create websites? Do you have a friend that's a good content creator that can teach you or at least help you create your content? So from looking at your network, you can actually pull out a lot of resources that may not cost you as much compared to you looking at, oh, let me go and get these big firms come and do my websites. They'll probably charge you, for a website, 5 million. When you can reach out to your uncle that's a good web designer, that'll probably say, okay, I'll do it for you because it's you. I'll do it.
Of course.
You understand? So you always have to start inwards, look at your network before you now start looking outwards. So maybe, for example, if you have like 300k, there's a lot that 300k can do. I know that Naira is being devalued.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot that 300k can do. So with 300k, maybe you can start in your room. There are a lot of people, for example, you want to do a kitchen. There are a lot of people that are now Instagram vendors. They have cloud kitchens. They cook from their houses, post their products on Instagram, and they're getting orders. You don't need to buy a bike at this point in time. You can use the Uber dispatch or Bolt dispatch to dispatch your food out. You can go to CMS or Balende, get your plates, get your cutleries, get everything, and set up a fully functional cloud kitchen where you sell through Instagram, through Chowdeck, through Global, or whichever means you like to use to sell. And you start from somewhere. That's basically be resourceful, be dogged.
Wow.
Don't back down in the face of challenges, because challenges will definitely come.
It's part of every business experience.
Yes.
Probably on this channel, we are probably going to bring up, try and do something, work something around small businesses, and of course, show you guys ways you can start small and all. Talking about businesses, we said something like every business has its own challenges.
Yeah. Okay.
So what are those challenges that you've faced as a business? Right?
It's something that a lot of businesses are facing right now in Nigeria, which is you buy your products today from the market. You buy a tuber of yam, for example, for 700 naira.
Okay.
And you've budgeted, so tubers of yam, 700 naira. The next day you go to the market, you hear that a tuber of yam is 1,500 naira. You understand? So that's one of the major challenges, is the increase in prices of goods every day. That's a major challenge. And as a business person or someone who owns a business, you have to accommodate and factor in the fact that the price you bought the yam today is not going to be the same price you buy yam tomorrow. So you have to factor in that.
All that.
It's
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Only problem you face, because I'm asking for intending entrepreneurs or people that would want to go into your footsteps, that wants to go into this kind of business.
Yeah, I think another challenge that we face as a business that works with people is communication. You have to make sure that you are taking into account the different people, their diverse characters, their personalities, and making sure that everyone understands what you're trying to do and is working together to make sure that what you're trying to execute gets executed. So that's one of the things that is a challenge, is making sure that communication is top notch. You always have to make sure you're communicating to your staff, to your audience. The communication is getting across. And so that's a challenge that I think every business faces it, and it's a work in progress. You learn every day and you improve on your communication skills.
Of course, you're right. Talking about communication and everything, experience relating with people, what is the biggest business lesson you've learned about customer behavior? And then how do you, of course, handle them if it is actually a challenge to your business?
So one thing I've learned is that customers always want an experience. You understand? You always want to come out and have that cocktail that makes you happy. You always want to come and have the food the way you remember the food to taste, or the way you expect the food to taste.
Okay.
So that's making sure that customers get the experience that they intend to get or they hope to get is, and you always need to make sure you're meeting that expectation every time. It doesn't matter how you feel, or maybe you're sick today, or things are not going well for you. When the customer comes, they want to have that experience. So you always have to make sure that regardless of how you feel or whatever is going on, the customer gets the experience, which is it can be hard if you don't have processes and systems in place to make sure that, this is what happens when a customer walks in. They are greeted by the hostess shows them a seat, the waiter comes and gives them a menu and gives them a little light snack to munch on while their order is getting ready. So you have to have SOPs and stuff like that in place to make sure that the customer gets the experience that they're hoping for, basically. So definitely I had a customer come in and look at our menu. They've asked, what can I have? And you tell them, I think you'd like this.
Okay.
And they tell you, no, I want that.
Okay.
And when they go for the that and they don't like it,
it becomes a problem.
It becomes an issue. You understand it? They don't want to pay for it. They don't want it. This is not what they were expecting. So obviously in situations like that, you have to work with the customer and just kind of say, you don't like this. What are the flavors that you do like? This is it. One you should order next time, please. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah.
But they still have to pay though.
It depends. It's, all these things it depends on the situation.
Okay.
If the mistake or if the situation was a fault of
by a
ours,
fault of
we take responsibility for that.
If you had to hustle, if you had to start up something on a tiny budget with just, you being street smart, how would you get about it?
So I think it goes back to what I said about using what you have.
Okay.
You understand? So if you are someone, maybe you studied, I'm guessing maybe they've already maybe graduated, they've done an NYSC or something, and they're looking for what next to do. Maybe they have a business idea and they're like, okay, I only have 100K in my account, and I want to start a wig business, for example. So the first thing you have to do before jumping into anything, yes, we do say just start, but you have to start smart and be committed. Because that's one thing that I think a lot of us struggle with, which is procrastination and commitment. So if you have an idea and you want to see that idea grow, be committed, get all the knowledge that you can, so that with your limited resources, you don't crash and burn. You understand? Because cash is king in anything you're doing. You don't want to go with your 100K and say, I think, let me just go and buy this wig. There's no you're working with very limited budget. You need to be very strategic with your budgets. There are also banks and organizations that do give out grants, that do give out loans for SMEs, little things like this. 100K here from this grant, 200K here from that grant, 500K here from this, or maybe an internship with a big influencer or a big business in that field you want to go into. These little things matter and are things that they need to consider. And don't give up hope. If you have that idea and if you've done all your numbers and you've checked and okay, this idea is something that once it hits the market, there's going to be an audience for it. Don't give up. Figure it out. There's nothing that's impossible. You understand? Figure it out. That's my advice. Just figure it out. Where there's a will, there's a way. That's something I always believe in. So you just have to figure it out. You need to ask for advice from consultants or ask for advice from people that have gone ahead of you.
So what do you think about this kind of business? Generally, do you think it's a very profitable business?
I think any business can be profitable if you know how to look for the profit.
Okay.
That's where business strategy comes in. People will always eat.
All right.
But would people want to eat where there is no AC? Would people want to eat where the food you brought out is not what they ordered? Would people want to eat where today they come, the food is salty, tomorrow they come, the food does not have salt?
Okay.
You understand? Anything, there's profits as long as you have a strategy. You have to have a plan. You have to have a way to generate constant revenue. You have to have a plan to reduce costs.
Okay, so generally you think this is a profitable business.
It's
actually a profitable. Yeah. Is this a place that you can just walk in at any time and then get your food?
Yes.
I've gone to a lot of restaurants and a lot of places that when you get there, they only start preparing each meal when you have placed an order.
Yes.
Is that what you do?
That's how it is here.
Okay. Would you encourage more people to invest in Nigeria, like more investors to come into Nigeria and start up a business, considering how unstable the economy is and everything? So do you think it is still worth it?
Yes, I feel like Nigeria is an investment-friendly country, and I would encourage any investors that are looking to invest to definitely invest in Nigeria.
It's funny how I come online and then I upload a video most times on the channel, and then I go down to the comment section, I see people commenting like, oh, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that, do not invest in Nigeria. And funny enough, most of those comments are coming from Nigerians. Then you look around, you see a lot of foreigners
coming in to invest,
doing businesses here in Nigeria and succeeding. And then there is this thing that I feel like all of them always have to tell me whenever I ask them why Nigeria. Their response is usually Nigeria has population. A lot of people in Nigeria. So mostly any business that you do in Nigeria has higher chances of succeeding and surviving. Mm-hmm. Funny enough, Nigerians are not even saying that. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think our population is a plus, like in terms of business?
Yes, I definitely do think our population is a plus, because the more people there are, the more people that would buy or spend on whatever it is you're trying to do. So you will definitely find your target audience where you have a crowd.
Someone once told me that you can never go wrong with food, a food business. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah. If you know Maslow's law of hierarchy, it says At the bottom, you have
Basic
food.
needs, yeah.
Your basic needs.
Yeah.
Food, shelter, water, clothing.
Yeah.
I think, is there anything else?
So just basic needs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are the basic needs.
Yeah.
People will always eat. Eating is a part of life and a fact of life. And with this, our generation of people that are more of the working class set of people, now you have the moms and the dads that are working. So you have less time spent on cooking at home.
Yeah.
And more time spent on work or driving or commuting or whatever. So starting a food business, as long as the food is nice, as long as they like what you're cooking,
Yeah, of course,
people would always buy. The advice I would give the youth and people that are up and coming is that never feel like your idea is too small. Never feel like your idea is irrelevant. Never feel like you can't make a difference, because it all starts with one person. All starts with an idea.
Thank you very much for having us.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You see, every business has a backstory, but then it is the hustle behind the shine that truly inspires. So if you ever want to build something out of nothing, or you have ever wondered how you should go about building something great out of nothing, stay glued to the channel, and I promise you are going to enjoy and you will never regret. You are probably going to learn a lot from this channel. Until next time, see you on the next video. Please subscribe to the channel if you're yet to do that. Give this video a thumbs up and share this particular video so it gets more people and more aspiring entrepreneurs. Until next time, bye.